Let's be real. Game development can be a roller coaster of emotions. The second week of my demo sprint has been no exception. It's easy to get lost in the excitement of creating something amazing. But the reality is that game development is a demanding and often exhausting endeavor. Burnout is real, and I've certainly felt its effects during this journey. I had a bit of a rough patch during the second week. The pressure to meet my self-imposed deadline and deliver a polished demo started to get to me. That burnout started to creep in. My motivation started to wane. I realized, you know what? I need to take a step back, recharge, and remind myself why I started this project in the first place.
I do it for these cute puppies. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Well, besides the cute dogs, I did it because it's what I want to do. The motivation is as simple as that. What do I want to do? I want to make a game, and then I want to make another one, and then I want to make another one.
Another one.
I'm mostly doing this to prove that I can take a concept from nothing, from scratch, and build it to completion, make it a reality, and send it off for other people to play, and hopefully enjoy. And if I make a little money off of it, dope. And we'll see where it goes from there. Now, one of my main objectives this week was to finish adding the remaining dialogues for the first level of my game. The Lich will appear and follow the player around and taunt him and make little helpful suggestions towards the player, and they'll bicker back and forth. And dialogue can be tricky to get right. It needs to be engaging, coherent, it needs to align with the game's narrative. And even though I'm making a silly game, it still needs to fit the tone and the style. And that's hard, and it takes a little bit of time. And I'm mostly satisfied with the result, but I feel like I need to go over it one more time and tweak a few things. Additionally, I tackled the challenge of implementing a level selection feature. This might sound simple, but it's a vital component for when a player starts up my specific game, their progress is saved through this screen. It involved UI design, navigation logic, and testing to ensure it works and that it's intuitive for the players. Should be pretty simple to lay out, but sometimes these things are trickier than you think, and it's the small details that make a big difference. So I was playing through the first biome. I realized the second part of that biome was about half the size of the first. I wanted to make it longer and more engaging, so the traps that I added in from the last sprint, I used to extend this one. Now I needed to make sure that it was fresh, so I added extra traps to make it sort of a parkour style, jump through all the hoops and the traps and avoid the fireballs, more than a platforming and fight the enemy section. The next part of it was the rock falling, everyone dies level. Now this was pretty rough at first. The rocks fell, you didn't really know where they were coming from, how they were going to fall, how fast they were going to come. You didn't really have much of a warning, and suddenly you get smacked in the head by like 12 rocks and die. Testers told me it wasn't very fun, and it was annoying, and it was frustrating. I think the fix I found for it is one that worked pretty well. Right before the rock spawns, or before it drops, there's a flash of light, so the player can see the very top of the screen where that rock's going to come from, and they can adjust accordingly. This will give them a little bit of time to move out of the way, and when the enemies start spawning, they have to keep an eye on both those little flashes and the fireballs coming at them, or the flying creature that shows up towards the end. So I made adjustments to the physics, the timing, the mechanics, and I think overall it's a more enjoyable experience. Now comes the hard part. When you're making your game, sometimes it can be easy to just ignore that little voice in your head saying, well, no one needs to see this till it's done. So I had to get testers involved again. They're integral. They're very important to the development process. So I invited a few of my trusted testers to play my game, and their feedback was invaluable. They identified bugs, gameplay issues, areas for improvement, such as the dialogue sometimes getting in the way when you're trying to jump through traps and fight enemies. Listening to your testers is crucial because they offer fresh perspective that you just don't see when you're working on your game for hours at a time or even short spurts. They see things you cannot. So I've been busy addressing these bugs and issues, and it can be tedious, but it's necessary. And remember that quality that they are going to help you provide is going to help you provide a polished product, or in my case, polished demo. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please subscribe for more. And hey, if you like the look of my game, there's a little link below that'll take you to the Steam page, and you can wishlist it now. Thanks. Game development is a labor of love, and it's moments like this 3-week sprint that I'm trying to complete that when you get there, it's gonna be worth it. And if you're a fellow developer or just interested in the process, let me know in the comments how your own projects are going. Are you hitting any burnout? Are you building a demo? Because I'd love to try it. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Take care.